Welcome to Titus Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Today is February the 4th, 2026. Counting the days of 2K26 comes out. Ladies and gentlemen, they posted like a schedule for the upcoming weeks that they're going to show us that's coming for the early access for people that, I guess for March 6th. I thought it was the events, but I guess it's not. But, ladies and gentlemen, they give us a schedule of things that we should expect that they're going to show off and show us how it works and all that stuff. Like my Rise, Universe Mode, I guess new match types, I think they said. And all the modes and all that stuff, all the new features, everything like that on the next coming weeks before the game comes out. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see, and maybe we will see more new wrestlers. They didn't say anything about roster reveal on the schedule. I think roster reveal might be on the last week, or the last week of February, I think. Something like that, that they have a roster reveal. And all that, and then they get the DLC reveal. But right now, we're going to be talking about NXT. That's the only update we have of 2K26. Nothing else happening, no pictures, nothing like that. They showed us a Raquel Rodriguez. I forgot about that. They showed us a Raquel Rodriguez, what she looks like in the game. She looks pretty good. So that's pretty cool. And that's it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got some NXT to talk about. We found out a new NXT champion and a new interim NXT's general manager, and the general manager will be Robert Stone. Shawn Michaels start the show off with Robert Stone, and he says that he needs somebody to be the general manager, and he chose Robert Stone. So Robert Stone is the interim general manager, so he's not a fully general manager like Abel was. He never was called interim. Maybe he needs to find somebody better or see how Mr. Robert Stone does. Let's see. JC Jane has a problem with somebody that threw her out of the Royal Rumble, and that was Soruka. She had a problem with Soruka, so she called out Soruka, but she got interrupted by Zarya. This is after the Knockouts Tag Team title match. Zarya is pissed. She's mad because she thinks that Soruka didn't tell her that she's going to the Rumble match. She's getting opportunities. She's not happy. So she wanted to win the Knockouts Tag Team titles for herself. I will tell you guys more about that when we get there. But, ladies and gentlemen, that happened there. And then Zarya got interrupted because she wants a shot at the title. She got interrupted by Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair because she's a side chick. Or a sidekick, I meant. So yeah, she comes out and Kendall Gray says she wants a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. And then Soruka came out saying that everybody wants a shot, everybody needs to chill. And she says Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray is a friend still, right? And she was talking to Zarya. JC Jane is tired of this. She doesn't want to hear this anymore. This is not about her. So, and then Robert Stone comes out, makes his first big match as a general manager. So next week, there will be a tag team match. So Zaruka, I think that's what they're called, and the Ren QCC, whatever they call it, there will be a tag team match. But whoever pins the win, whoever gets the pinfall, will be the #1 contender to the NXT Women's Championship in 3 weeks when they go to Atlanta. When NXT goes to Atlanta. So that's going to happen there. So if Zarya gets the pin on Ren Sinclair, she goes for the title. If Soruka gets the pin on Kendall gets the win. If Kendall gets the win on Zarya, she gets the #1 contendership. If Ren Sinclair wins, she gets a title shot. So that's how it works, and Mr. Robert Stone wants to be unique, and that's what he got. Tony D'Angelo wants Dark State, because what Dark State did to him ruined everything of his life and his family. That's why Stacks turned into this evil monster and all that stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, he wants revenge on Dark State. And he says after that, you will find out what's next for me. He said a whole bunch of things, but I'm not saying a whole bunch of things. So yeah, that's all that. Now let's talk about the matches. Ladies and gentlemen, the first match of the evening, we got Izzy Dame defending the NXT Women's North American title against Thea Hale and Lola Bice. It was a pretty decent triple threat match. I enjoyed it. But the winner of that match was Izzy Dame because Kalani Jordan came out, interrupted the match, and attacked Lola Bice, smashed Lola Bice's hand with a ladder. She says she can't knock anyone out now. She can't knock me out anymore. But she has another hand and she has legs. So I think she could knock you out. Still, you knock one hand off. That's it. So she's happy that she did that, but I think she could still get knocked out. Well, we heard that next week it will be Jada Parker versus Blake Moreau, because what happened in the parking lots or where the merch stands are, Jada Parker, this was way before the show started, Jada Parker is having fun with the fans until Blake Moreau attacks Jada Parker in front of the fans, in front of the merch stands too. So we have that match happening next week between Jada Parker versus Blake Moreau. It is kind of weird having NXT with no Ava being the boss and Robert Stone is the boss. I remember Robert Stone as a wrestler, not as a general manager. So I want to see how he does. Does people like him? Or he's just annoyed? I got you guys. Yeah. There we go. Next we have Ilio LaFour will be versing Charlie Dempsey in the speed title tournament. Why is there always the men's speed title happening? Where's the women's? Paul and Haley been holding that title for months now. But it was a pretty decent match, but the winner of that match was Ilio LaFour. And he goes to the finals of the tournament. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have Heather and M from TNA. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a return. Sonya Deville, a.k.a. Daria Ray, made a return to WWE to see her girls wrestle Zaruka for the Knockouts Tag Team titles. Ladies and gentlemen, Zarya didn't want to tag. She didn't want to do things with Zaruka. It was horrible to see. They were best friends, and now they hate each other. And ladies and gentlemen, every time Zaruka tries to tag, Zarya gets angry. But at the end, Zaruka accidentally did a soul snatcher onto Zarya after Ash pulled, I think it was Heather, out of the ring. And then M shoves Zarya into the corner, and Zaruka did a soul snatcher. And the winner of that match, and still the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, is no other than Heather and M. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is interesting because now Chase U has a problem. Lexis King and Stacks will be versing Chase U, and Uri Connors is getting upset that he's not getting opportunities. He thought being on Chase U would be giving him opportunities. But Caleb Dixon won't stop tagging himself in. You see in the face of Connors getting upset. And but ladies and gentlemen, the winner of that match was Lexis King and the Stacks. But you saw in the ring, Connors walked away from Dixon and walked with Alexis King. And when they were trying to talk to Charlie Dempsey to join them, Connors was with Alexis King and Stacks. So is he part of that faction now? We have no idea, but ladies and gentlemen, we have the ladder match for the NXT Championship. This was the last big thing that Ava made before she left NXT. We have Joe Hendry versus Leon Lennox versus Ricky Saints versus Jackson Drake versus Charlotte Hill versus Shawn Legacy versus Keanu Carver. And ladies and gentlemen, it was this match. Everybody was getting destroyed. Ladders getting destroyed. A lot of things happening. But ladies and gentlemen, the new NXT champion Do you believe Joe Hendry is the new NXT champion after he threw Ricky Saints up the ladder into another ladder that was bridged on top of the ladder that they were climbing on, and he landed on it. It didn't even break. That must hurt. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a new champion. Joe Hendry is the new champion. I can't stop yawning now. New champion is Joe Hendry. That's pretty cool to see for Joe Hendry. He is a former TNA World Champion. Now he's the current NXT champion. But now the landscape changes because Joe Hendry is now the NXT champion. Robert Stone is the general manager. What's going to happen next between with those things happening in NXT? We have no idea. We will see what happens next week when Robert Stone has a full day as a NXT general manager, because remember, he didn't know about this until last night. He found out what is happening. Now he has a full day. This is his real first day as NXT general manager. He can make matches on Twitter. He can make matches on NXT next week. We will find out. But ladies and gentlemen, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys tomorrow for AEW results. I don't know what's happening in that show. There's a lot of things happening. So ladies and gentlemen, is there going to be any more debuts? Are we going to see AJ Styles come in AEW? Are we going to see that? I wonder if we're going to see that. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, that's that. If you guys enjoyed this video, tell us out. Bye.